In his letters, he stated, "There must be a dehumanization of dark African people with every opportunity and method we have, even using religion to do this. We must make blackness and dark skin as evil and negative as possible, and do it through a series of brutal, negative imagery, words, and mystical storytelling. These are called the facts." Remember, we live in a cause and effect world. Things don't just happen. There is a reason behind all human behavior and actions. The world we live in is the way the way that it is because it's the way that people of power have created it. What this despicable man was able to do was to convince people of color that the color of their skin and the way that they looked would determine their values, their capabilities, and what they could or could not achieve. It would determine their cognitive ability, their power. And that the 99% of who we genetically are meant nothing. And people fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And societies are still doing this today. It's shocking. It really is when you think about it. How asleep we are as a species. This pitcher of water represents the 99.9% of our human genetic structure that makes every human being on Earth genetically identical. This food coloring represents some of the different skin colors and personal features of the human species, like the shape of our eyes, the shape of our nose, the texture of our hair, etc. When I add it to our genetic structure of the 99.9% of who we are, it makes us look different. What Willie Lynch and all the other people throughout human history who helped create the illusion of race and colorism, his goal was to have you believe that the food dye is more important than the water. That each of the waters now that are different colors are now somehow different than each other. That this water is better than this water. When in reality, the waters are still the same. Nothing has changed. The 99.9% of who we are is still there. The dye and the color that represents our skin and our personal features means absolutely nothing. We are the most incredible species on Earth, but we are also the most ignorant species on Earth at times. We live in a world of duality where we are brilliant and then we are vulgarly ignorant. Unfortunately, there are a lot of ignorant people in the world that are still buying into this idiotic belief and way of living. So you will have to protect your self-concept from them. Just remember, no matter what people say or do, no matter how dark your skin, and no matter how non-European looking you are, and how people try to Willie Lynch you, that you are second to none. Remember that. And genetically identical to everyone. That you have the power and ability to create everything you desire. And the truth and reality are on your side. So walk tall. Never put your head down to anyone. I am telling you things not to provoke anger. I am sharing this information with you because I want you to become aware of what colorism is so you can transcend it and stop doing it. Without even knowing it, we human beings have been conditioned into believing whiteness is goodness and happiness. That the man-made construct of race has created whiteness as a symbol of happiness and goodness. And millions, if not billions of people of color are walking around in fear of not being white. And they think that other people who of color are less deserving of respect, fairness, love, and kindness because of their dark skin and facial features. And this is crazy. This way of thinking causes billions of people to underestimate their own power, beauty, and intelligence, causing many people to never experience true happiness, joy, from being fully alive and enjoying the essence of being in alignment with their genetic structure, the essence of being a whole human being. Just like all the other symbols of happiness that we human beings are foolishly conditioned into believing are going to give us true happiness, and we spend our life chasing, whiteness does not create real happiness either. These are called the facts. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see and understand this profound truth and reality. All you have to do is answer this question. Think about it. Are all white people happy? No, of course not. There are millions of unhappy white people in the world. So what does that tell you? How is it possible that there are unhappy white people if being white and whiteness is the answer and creates real happiness? See how crazy we've been programmed? Really think about what I'm saying. Feel it, grasp it, become aware of it. Don't run away from it. Are all the people from the European man-made race happy? No, of course not. Because happiness is a skill. It does not come from white skin or blue eyes and having blonde hair. If you don't know the skills to happiness, it doesn't matter who you are and what you look like. Happiness, real happiness, cannot be achieved. So why are there so many people chasing whiteness? Because this is the way they have been programmed in their subconscious mind to live. Once again, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. There are many wonderful things about the white man-made race, cultures, and people throughout the world. And as you learned earlier in the course, there are many things from all man-made races and cultures that you want to incorporate into your life. Just like all cultures and people, there are gifts that they give to the world. So the white man-made race has many of those gifts too. All that I am advocating is that you don't lose your self-love, that you cherish your dark skin, the shape of your eyes, the texture of your hair, and respect other people with dark skin who do not look European. If you want to change your looks, fine. If you're creative, go for it. Just make sure that the purpose is not for the approval of whiteness. Just do you and love yourself and get out of the game in the belief that whiteness is goodness and happiness. For goodness sake, it's time to live fully. This happiness thing is really important. So let's go into this just a little deeper. Just a little deeper. Are all people from the Asian man-made race happy? Of course not. No. Are all people from the Native American man-made race happy? No. Of course not. Are all the people from the Middle Eastern or Eastern Indian or African and Latino man-made race happy? Of course not. Are all the people within your own man-made race who have light skin and/or European features happy? Of course not. So how is it possible that your external features are not the key to your happiness? Everything's telling you that it is. Happiness is a skill that most people never learn because they're too busy adhering to the conditioning from their man-made race. They are too busy being their man-made race instead of being true to themselves. They are living pretend worlds and are living in a pretend world and pretend lives. For goodness sake, There are men and women who have the courage and dignity to even be truthful about their sexuality, knowing that they will be harmed and punished in society. There are men and women who literally have the courage to become different genders and take the consequences of that in society. And because they are being true to themselves. And we have millions of people of color who still cannot admit who they are, that are running away from their African heritage and the color of their skin. This is just so asinine. People who don't have the courage to live. This is the cowardly thing to do. They are hiding in the race closet, running away from being a person of color. And this destroys you internally. This is weakness, fear, and self-shame. And it is caused by colorism. And it affects you whether you're light-skinned and running, or whether you are dark-skinned and being punished or abused by your dark skin. Colorism is lethal, and it is nothing to play with. We have to get the courage and the dignity to stand up and be people of color and acknowledge our African heritage that is in all human beings. These are called the facts. This is called reality. It's time to get out of the pretend world and become fully alive, powerful, healthy, beautiful people.